P.5, problem number 12. We're asked to factor 2x squared minus 21x minus 11. There are many different methods out there to factor a trinomial. You may have learned something called slip, slide, and divide, or the ladder method, or tic-tac-toe, or guess and check. I'm going to teach this problem using the grouping method, the grouping factoring that we used in a previous problem in this problem set. So we're going to do 2 times negative 11. We get negative 22. We need things that multiply to give us negative 22, but add to give us negative 21. And I've already written out the pairs of numbers that multiply to give us 22. Now I need a negative 22, so one of these is going to be positive and one of these is going to be negative. I just hadn't figured that out yet, and I haven't figured out which pair to use yet. So I need the numbers that are going to add up to be negative 21. Because this is a negative 22, I know that one of these is positive and one of these is negative. So looking at those numbers, the 1 and the 22 will, if one of them is positive and one of them is negative, they can add to negative 21. If the 22 is negative and the 1 is positive. So that's what we're going to have. A negative 22 and a positive 1. When I add these two up, I get negative 21. When I multiply these two, I get negative 22. So this is the pair that I need. The 2 and the 11 would add to like maybe 13 or to 9. So I don't need the 2 and the 11. Don't use those. We're going to use this pair. And we're going to take this pair to rewrite this term. We're going to keep the 2x squared. We're going to keep the negative 11. And we're rewriting 21x with a plus 1 and a minus 22. And it does not matter which order I write this in. I'm just going to write it in the order I've got it. So that's plus 1 and minus 22. But that has an x, so both of these terms have to get that variable of x. Now we're going to use the grouping method. I'm going to factor these two as a group and these two as a group. Common factor here is just x. When I factor that out, I'm left with 2x plus 1. Common factor here is 11. And I know that when I factor by grouping, this parenthesis has to match this one exactly. Our two parentheses are identical. That's what factoring by grouping does for us. So I need to decide, is this a negative 11 or a positive 11, or should I put a plus sign here or a minus sign? So let's multiply it back. 11 times 2x needs to equal negative 22. So that needs to be a negative 11, because negative 11 times negative 2 is negative 22. And negative 11 times positive 1 is negative 11. Now that I have a greatest common factor of 2x plus 1, it gets written down in front, 2x plus 1. We factor that out. And when we take out the 2x plus 1 and the 2x plus 1, what we're left with is x minus 11. And that becomes our second factor, x subtract 11. And that is the answer.